Hey folks, hope you're doing really well. Welcome back to another little video, and we're just the other side of Dewsbury. We've headed down the Spen Valley Greenway down south out of Bradford and heading to kind of opposite Wakefield direction through to Castleford. We're on the Calder way, I think it is, Calder cycleway here. Very nice it is too. And then around Wakefield Way, or Castleford Way I should say, we'll pick up the River Aire, start climbing back up towards Leeds, and then back over to Ian's Gaff in Bradford. So about 50 miles a day, pretty chill. Hopefully the weather's going to hold, although there's a 70% chance of rain any time throughout the day, so probably going to get caught in sort of these weird April showers that we're having in June at the moment. But yeah, come along for the ride. It's probably going to be my last instalment before the Europe trip, which isn't too far away, and you might have heard me talk about that on other videos. And I thought as we go around today I'll just talk a little bit about making time for cycling, because you know, time and consistency equals getting a bit better on the bike and enjoying your cycling. But easier said than done. Let's go. Whew.
I'm gonna listen back to the radio, biding my time to hear the tune that hits my soul. Finding the words was always the hardest part for me. A dispatch from the heart you'd have to believe. Till then, if the same goes.
Okay, we just stopped for a spot of lunch at, I think it's called Pugneys Country Park. And the heavens opened, so feeling very smug. Having a bit of cake and a cup of tea while the weather turned. It's just stopped now, so we're chancing our luck and just heading through the park. It looks like that up on the horizon is Sandal Castle. I think we were up there on a ride late last year. So just heading out now towards the River Aire, and then we'll pick that up and start heading northwards up towards Leeds. You really see just how much rain we've had in the last 45 minutes or so. Hopefully no more today, but I'm not completely hopeful we won't get caught out. Anyway, just talking about the topic of today's video, so making time for cycling. It's, for me, I think cycling, enjoying time on the bike, is intimately linked with having a certain amount of resilience and tolerance that you've built up, and there's only really one way to do that, and that's time in the saddle, time on the bike. And we all know, don't we, as cyclists, just how easy it is to lose fitness. But I think for me, you know, not being at a particularly high level with cycling, it's about losing fitness, but also about losing that comfort on the contact points that you have. It really doesn't take too many weeks off the bike for the bike to be noticeably less comfortable when I go out on a ride than if I'm getting out fairly regularly. I mean, it's a kind of obvious point to make, isn't it? But and also, you know, getting out for me to feel like I've done a sort of a proper ride in inverted commas, you know, it's probably a couple of hours. It's a reasonably hefty time commitment as somebody who's, you know, got kids and works full time, etc. And you know, you can call it good time management, good forward planning, being selfish, or just prioritising cycling over other areas of your life. But whatever you call it and however you do it, it is important if you're kind of serious about cycling in some way. And I don't mean serious in terms of the right colour socks and the right Rafa kit and all that stuff. I just mean serious in terms of like genuinely seeing the benefits of cycling, genuinely wanting it to have a positive impact on your life. It's if you are serious about that, it is important to just make time for, you know, this pastime that we enjoy so much. Little hill getting us out of Wakefield here. Whew. So much for missing the rain.
It's not really as much as last score.
Nah. Yeah, we're back in the rain. It's about 13-14 degrees, so we've just got to be a little bit careful we don't get soaked. You could get quite cold with the wind chill, but aside from that, it's one of those days where if you pick up the bright spell, the sun is strong enough to kind of warm you back up, dry you out a little bit. He says, hopefully. Thank you. I'm just going to hang back here because same as my mud guards, Ian's guards on the back of his bike. They protect the rider, but unfortunately not the poor soul behind them. And it's the same for him when he's behind me. I think the only guards I've got on any bike genuinely just filter the water to spray straight back down onto the road. Oh, on the touring bike. Oh, it's proper chucking it down now. Okay, next stop Castleford. In a wild fit of optimism, taking my waterproofs off. Come on, British summer, get your act together. Ooh. Gotta say, there's a very nice network of duck in the branches cycleways around these parts. I think if you can get yourself out of the 20 miles an hour head down gun it mindset, yeah, some really pleasant cycling to be had.
If the same goes for you, it goes for me. fall asleep to the radio. I'm hoping the moon and stars will be my chaperone. Looking to find the answer in a dream, a memo from my heart you have to believe. Till then, if the same goes for you, it goes for me. We fell in love and wound up on our knees. If the same goes for you, it goes for me.
Flying panniers.
I don't know about you.
Well folks, we're about 42 miles into the ride, and we've made it through Leeds in one piece, just picking our way for a couple of miles along the canal, and then I believe we're going to pick up some roads back across to Bradford. A great ride, and you know, I'm really glad to have carved out this few hours on Sunday to get another ride in. And I think there's a couple of things I'm doing at the moment, certainly, to try and keep myself on the bike and keep a little bit of consistency going. Things are a bit crazy at the moment, and probably doing 50-60 hours a week on the work front, not by choice, but by equal token it's got to be done sometimes. But you know, one of the things I've really advocated before, I think a few times on video as well, is if you do have the opportunity to combine getting to work with a bike ride, I just think that's one of the coolest ways to maintain a little bit of base fitness. And I live a little bit far away from the office at the moment. It's about 20 miles each way, but one thing I am doing is just making sure that a couple of times a week, come hell or high water, rain, wind or shine, we get the commute in. So yeah, I can't tell you just how nice it's been, even though the last few months have been really busy. Just knowing that I've got a guaranteed couple of rides a week in the bank, and what just a positive difference that's made on my baseline fitness. And you know, rides today like 50 miles are just nice, and if I wasn't doing that midweek commuting, I think you know, at this point in the ride I'd be really suffering a little bit. And you know, these are very modest distances and we don't go fast, as you've probably seen from the video, but it's yeah, it's just nice to have a little bit of time during the week to get a couple of rides in, and that's certainly a little bit of a hack. And I hand on heart, anybody that lives within cycle commuting distance of work and can get there reasonably sort of safely without, you know, any crazy busy dangerous roads, I just can't recommend it highly enough. And the other thing I did back in March was booked a ferry ticket across to the continent, and you might remember right at the start of the year I determined not to make any cycling plans or any cycling goals, and I still kind of didn't with this trip. I didn't actually finalise the route until a couple of days ago actually, and what that was about really back in March was just ring fencing the time and making sure that later in the year, when I knew I'd be crazy busy, and I am, I don't really have time to spend a week in Europe, and I certainly wouldn't book it now, but I'm really glad I did. So, you know, thank you, former One More cyclist from earlier in the year. You did me a solid there. And I'm really looking forward to just that week of closing all the mental tabs and the mileage is going to be ridiculously low, but I'm so looking forward to it, just as a break and time on the bike. Well, we've got about 5.5 miles to go. We'll be coming off the canal in a second and just on some roads climbing up to Ian's gaff in Bradford, so probably signing off time I think for this video, and all being well the next time I see you it'll be overseas. Just want to say thanks so much for following along. If you made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate every single one of you that follows along and supports the channel. Just remains to say, stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and from somewhere between Leeds and Bradford, not entirely sure where, happy cycling. I'll see you out on the roads for the next one very soon. Bye. Whew.